in Lusoga was a rant in Lusoga that they say ataidukira byaira tafumbata mukaire. So we didn't want to appear like we have forgotten the support that the people of Soga gave to the struggle. So we had to come and kufumbata them in the manner that the CPC here described. The second reason, Your Excellency, was to express our solidarity with the people here and symbolically give back to the population through the many quick impact activities that the CPC detailed here. And obviously, through these activities, reaffirm our strategic link between us and the population. As you've been told, these activities commenced with the launch, the national launch at the Modeva headquarters, and we chose Busoga to continue retracing the Fronasa circuit as we remember the first liberation cells in Busoga to express our solidarity with the population for their support during the revolutionary infancy, especially in the 70s and even in the 80s, as we recognize the earlier efforts in the fight against Amin on the Mayuge front. Your Excellency, this circuit took us to Mbale in 2022, and this same circuit took us to Mbarara, Waida Mbarara, last year, and so this year we are here. The second reason is to commemorate the defeat of Lakwena and her so-called Holy Spirit movement outlaws when they entered the sub-region from Tororo on the morning of the 16th October, because here they met a lethal combination of local volunteers and our force, which squeezed them and totally annihilated them to the extent that finally by the 24th of October, we had wiped out that force. So we want to appreciate the support that the Busoga gave to our forces. Coming here also enables the UPDF to closely conduct civil military activities which the CPC elaborated, that may address the underlying factors that make this region vulnerable to the activities of extremist groups such as ADF, who continue to recruit from this region. We wanted to find out. Fourth was to marshal the demographic significance of Busoga sub-region and its propensity to continue building on its previous performance to channel out a critical mass towards the values of patriotism more than ever before. That's why these orientation activities were taking place through the CPC. And the event, we also thought that we would emulate wealth creation efforts like okuvuba bulungi, wetland utilization, the parish model, the Myoga programs, and general ideological and political work, which we have done among the youth and the groups. The theme that we chose was to celebrate the people's struggle for unity, security, and peace, for socio-economic transformation. The people, because nothing done outside the interests of the people of Ugandans can endure. The struggle for unity, because the best way to predict the future is to create it with them. Aiming at security and peace, because the two are very necessary for human security, wealth creation, and economic transformation. All these things fear insecurity. If there is no peace and security, they cannot exist. And all this for socio-economic transformation, because a poverty-stricken population is highly vulnerable to manipulators and predators, both locally and from foreign countries. Your Excellency and invited guests, to sustain the current ideological focus and efforts towards the total liberation of Ugandans from peasantry to socio-economically transformed society, our week activities included what the CPC mentioned here in very great detail, and I don't need to repeat it. We think that this enables us to share between the people the focused efforts and activities to the core principle that the army and the people need each other, and therefore the army must always be pro-people and disciplined. This way, the people remain our strategic partners. We therefore want to salute those who have paid the ultimate price. The CPC mentioned some of them here. I remember also Mbigiti, late Mbigiti, late Nkoko, late Tintale, late Kasada in the 70s, and late Right Honorable Kivejinja in the 80s, for the cause and freedom we now enjoy. And as we gather here, we all know that Uganda has sailed through and recovered from the most violent and turbulent storms in our history. But, Your Excellency, suffice to say that we have fully achieved our mission to pacify the country and laid a very firm foundation to create an environment that can steer the economy for socio-economic transformation and the mutual benefit of all Ugandans. Certainly, this comes with patriotic sacrifice, as it can be remembered that the NRA and the UPDF at one time happily worked without salaries, taking a cue from Your Excellency when you did not wait for allowances in order to mobilize for freedom. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, in general terms, the security of the person and property and borders has been restored, and UPDF continues now to plan for even more operations other than war to ensure not just physical security, but in a more broader sense, encompass freedom from threats, real or perceived, intimidation and other pressures from whatever source that would undermine the basic rights, the welfare and property of our people, the territorial integrity of our state, and the functioning of our system of governance. The UPDF will continue to support democracy to deepen the extent that now anybody can dream of leading this country, but nobody should dream of destabilizing it, because we have built both capacity for geostrategic security and participation in regional stability. And we are now also involved in non-kinetic activities to contribute to national development through food production. We are now using our Chief of Production and Welfare, through industrialization by NEC. NEC is doing a lot. Through Choga Dynamics Limited, we now have NEC Straight for making armored vehicles, infantry vehicles. NEC Uzima, I think there are bottles in front of everybody here. These are made by ourselves. The Engineers Brigade, which is contributing to direct labor construction, which reduces costs. You've been giving them as an example. Recently when we were at Kololo, and I think everybody understands. And Your Excellency, as we were waiting for you, some of the members of parliament from this region were thinking that we should now maybe transform the Defense Forces Week into a Defense Forces Month, because they see the impact of 1 week is more than the impact of the funds they are sent here for the whole year. That means that UPDF now has an unmatched record of performance because they are guided by a clear vision and leadership of securing Uganda's future. We therefore